Hi guys! So in today's video I basically show you how to create this eye makeup look. I used the Juvia'S Place mini Masquerade palette and I basically just bought it like the day before, so this was my first time using it. So I basically tell you guys my thoughts on it and stuff like that. Kind of like a first impressions on how to create this halo themed eye makeup. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I did a review of the, I should have done like a grand entrance, of the Juvia'S Place, I don't even know the name, the Masquerade mini palette, and I was going to tell you what I thought about it, and then I remembered that I've already told you at the end of the video, so you're going to have to wait to hear my review. But I basically created this eye makeup look for you guys using this palette, so please keep on watching. So unfortunately there wasn't really a transition shade in the palette which I felt was light enough for me to start with, so I went in with the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette and I mixed the shades Mustard and Jam, and I used that to basically sweep into my crease with a fluffy brush. I then took the shade Zulu from the Juvia'S plate. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Place palette, and I worked that into my crease, kind of deepening that up, adding a reddish tint using this Sigma E40 brush. Then I went and deepened that a little bit more with the shade Adder, and I basically just built this up, but I didn't take it as high up as we took the initial transition shade because we want to create a kind of gradient that will still be seen. So then I went in with a more dense, more refined brush, and I took the shade Zobo, which is this gorgeous pink shade, and I used it to create this kind of halo shape. So I went in and intensely packed it onto the inner and outer corner of the lid. Then I went in with just any old fluffy brush and I just blended that transition into the crease so it doesn't come across too harshly. Then I took a pencil brush and the two shades Adder and Fulani, and I just added this on the very inner and outer corner to deepen it up a little bit more. Okay, so this is me like freaking out and getting really scared that I was about to ruin everything. So now I'm basically taking my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium with this really small, precise brush, and I'm using it to carve out the top part of my eyelid, if that makes sense, but I've not done it exactly parallel to my actual eyelid. I've taken it up slightly to make my eyes appear a little bit larger. So I've drawn that initial line and that arc at the very top, as you can see, and then I've gradually added the concealer, but I've not dragged it down as much as there is at the very top. I've refined it a little bit more as it goes downwards, and I'm just blending that out towards the edges so it doesn't come across too harsh. Now I've taken the shade Giza from this palette and I'm just using my finger to pat that onto the eyelid where we've added the concealer. But to make sure that the whole of that area has been covered, I went in with a smaller brush to just make sure that all of the concealer had been covered with this colour. Now I'm going in with a slightly more subtle gold colour, which is this shade Dahlia, and I've just gone and used that to bridge the gap between the bright pink and the kind of iridescent shimmer we've got in the centre. I'm then taking another pencil brush and I'm taking the pink shade that we used at the start, and I'm just using that to make that gradient a little bit more seamless, and I'm making it all blend together so it doesn't look too harsh, because you want to create the illusion that it is quite rounded, if that makes sense. So you want to shade it really nicely and just basically make that transition as seamless as you can, using whatever colours that you need to just make that transition resemble more of an ombre kind of effect. I then went in with the two darker shades with this very long thin brush, which is actually a nail art brush, and I used it to try and line just above where we have cut that crease to make it look a little bit more defined, and then I'm just buffing that out so the line doesn't look too harsh. Then I'm just going in and adding a little bit more pink to intensify that more and just buffing that out as we go. Okay, so now moving on to the bottom of the eyes. So I'm taking that intense brush with the shade Zobo and I'm just packing that onto the lower lash line, and then I'm taking this flat fluffy brush to kind of diffuse that colour out. I'm then using the Laura Mercier highlighter in the shade Addiction for my inner corners. And as you can see, I've added some lashes. Okay guys, that is the end of this tutorial. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. Just a few thoughts on this palette. literally love this so much. Basically, I've heard so many things about this palette and Juvia'S Place in general. Everyone's saying, oh my god, like their palettes are so pigmented, and saying how amazing the colour payoff is. And honestly, it is exactly what I was expecting. Like, I just think the colours, firstly, I mean, like, look at this right now. The colours are so gorgeous. Just a general, what's the word? A general overview? A general overview on the palette. There are 9 like shimmer shades and 2 slightly shimmery but with like specks of glitter in. 2 shades like that and 5 matte shades. I hope I counted that right. That would be really embarrassing. Anyway, that's basically what you get in the palette. You have quite a range of colours, as you can see. What I like is that they've still given a few neutral colours in here, because I do find that the Juvia'S Place palettes usually have quite out there colours, which is why I really couldn't decide which palette to get when I was choosing one. But I feel like this is a really nice selection. You've got some blues, a green, some purples, golds, rose golds, and you've got some gorgeous like purpley red shades as well. So I think it's a really nice little collection of shades. Yeah, so as I was saying about the pigment, it is literally unbelievably pigmented. Especially, I didn't use this shade in the video, but the shade Casablanca, this one right here, it's basically quite a rich gold shade, and I think that that one especially, like, let me just swatch that, because this is mad. Like, I don't know if you can see this. This is not helping. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, look at that right now. Like, can we just take a moment? Let me swatch it on my wrist so you can see. Oh my god, it's kind of like a coppery gold shade, and it just looks so gorgeous. That one was the one that immediately stood out to me, but I mean, there are so many shades in here which are actually like the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I'm looking for a makeup wipe. I'm not just like oh my god, I thought I got it on my jumper, but we're all good. What was I doing? So yeah, all the shades in here I feel like are so gorgeous, and a really, really nice selection of colours, because you have quite a wide range, which is great. We love that kind of thing. Honestly, the pigment is so great. I especially noticed it with the shade Zobo, which was the purpley matte shade that we used for the inner and outer corner. And that, what's the lighting? Come on. Is it just me, or has the lighting just changed? Is that better? I think that colour, I felt like the intensity of that with just one dab of the brush onto my eyelid was like, whoa. Another thing, of course, this palette is 100% cruelty-free, which is so great. And you can tell that there is a really, really good quality to each of the shades and the formula of how they have been created. So in general, I would say that I am really, really happy with this palette, and I'm kind of sad that I like it, because now this means that I know I'm going to want all of the other ones. My bank account's just going to have to deal with that. I purchased this from Beauty Bay, so it's basically easy to get in the UK, which is another bonus. So anyway guys, enough of that. I hope that you enjoyed this mini review and demo of this palette, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Please, please, please make sure that you like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave me a comment if you feel like it. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah.